Okay, so hi everyone, bear with me. Doing these videos is really hard. And it's really hard to be charming and on YouTube, and it's hard to be charming on camera. I'm sorry if this is a very boring, weird video. Also, I deal with dysphoria, so I look at myself and every angle is just atrocious. So, I'm just gonna try and get through this. I wrote down some notes about what I'm going to be talking about today, so if I'm looking like I'm reading from a piece of paper, it's because I am, because this is very, very difficult to talk about. I've wanted to make a video about my surgery for a very, very long time. I thought I would do one before, I thought I would do one right after, but it's very hard. There's a lot of changes that your body goes through and a lot of thoughts that go through that you just become a whole other person. And so welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be talking about my surgery, which was I'm going to be talking about my gender confirmation surgery, which was an orchiectomy. An orchiectomy is a surgery where they remove the testicles from the body, or you get a bilateral orchiectomy. And so a bilateral orchiectomy does, they just go in, they snip them right off and sew it back together, and then, you're on your way. Ultimately, the surgery cost me I would say about $4,000, because I had to, pay for the surgery, which was $3,500 itself, $3,500. And then also you have to pay for food and your hotel room if you're not in town. So for me, it came out to about $4,000 for the surgery, and that was not easy to make. Very hard to save up. It took me maybe about half a year or more to save up that. About 7-8 months, I think, of harshly saving over like half of my paycheck, and then using the rest of the money for like as little food as possible and transportation to work. And so that's how I got there so quickly for me, which I'm very fortunate and happy that I did, was able to do that with myself. It was very difficult, but it happened. So why did I choose an orchiectomy? I chose an orchiectomy because at the time I was, I was mainly to alleviate a lot of dysphoria and kind of curb my sexual desires. At the time, I had like intense sexual urges that were very hard to cope with and ignore. And what sucked was I know that deep down in my heart or at the time I knew that deep down in my heart I was not as sexually forgiving as I was acting at the time, and I really valued the importance of sex and relationships, and my actions were not reflecting that, and I felt very sick. I felt very, wrong. I'm not saying I'm sex shaming, but at the time that's what I was feeling, and a lot of it I could equate to either not being regular with my hormones, and then that would make my testosterone go up. Like when I first started hormones, my sexual desires went down, but then they came back. I also suffer from depression pretty severely, and it gets to the point where I don't leave my bed, and when I don't leave my bed, I don't take my pills, and then when I don't take my pills, I get all the negative effects of testosterone to come back, and that comes along with the sexual desire. So it was very, very hard to remain consistent with my hormones. Remain consistent with my hormones so that I could kind of manage that, but I was never really good at it. And so I looked at, what can I do to kind of remove this testosterone and making it kind of easier to not miss my hormones. And also not taking hormones as a way of kind of defeating myself. I would not take them because I'd be like, oh, there's no point, oh, I'll never be, oh, this is that, and I would be like, oh, I don't deserve to this, I don't deserve whatever, and so I would just not, there was a lot of reasons why I was not taking my hormones, and I knew ultimately I needed to do something to kind of help me stay on track with what I plan to do with my body, and depression would really get in the way of helping me make those decisions. So yeah, I looked it up and I was like, I need to find out how to get rid of this, and that's how I got into an orchiectomy. People were surprised that it was my first surgery, because, as a trans person, most people go and get boobs, or they go get their face done, or they get something to alter their body to alleviate dysphoria. But for me, necessarily, I don't have a lot of like facial dysphoria, which I'm very happy that I don't. But yeah, that wasn't my main concern. Also, boobs weren't my main concern either at the time, and I just noticed that I was sick in the head, and it was affected by the amount of testosterone in my head, and I knew that I would never be able to be happy or accomplish any goals if I didn't address this immediately. So yeah, I went in and I chose an orchiectomy. That's why I did it. An orchiectomy is, I already explained it. But yeah, so I ended up, going to Dallas, and I remember the week before I wanted to do like a little vlog for people to watch about my surgery, and I just never really got around to it. The closer and closer that it came, the more and more confusion that I had about the whole surgery, because, you have the thoughts of like, oh, well, I'll never this surgery doesn't change how I look, so people are still going to call me a he or whatever, or people are still going to misgender me. And so I was like, maybe I should just continue saving and get boobs or something, because that'll stop that a little bit better. But yeah, so I was having a lot of really conflicting thoughts, and I was like, what's the point? There's no point. I should just not, do I really want to get rid of this part of my body? Do I know what it's going to do? All of these thoughts. And so a lot of that kind of clouded my head at the time, and I just kind of recluded back into being a little bit private about it. And so I didn't really share much about what was going on in social media or Facebook or anything. I did post that I was having surgery, but I didn't really talk about much. So yeah, you go in, they have the thing. I can actually snag in a little funny moment here. Literally the day before surgery, I was having like a fever, and I was like, I was definitely having a fever. I don't know what caused it, but I was having one, and I was like not feeling well. I couldn't stand up. I was like not feeling great. I was having my body was sweaty. I was getting sweaty. It was just gross, and I was really, really nervous. And so my partner at the time would go through and got me some medicine, and I was like, oh my god, what if they tell me I can't do the surgery because I'm sick? And so it's terrifying. So I went and just bought a shit ton of fucking, I don't know, we had Advil. I think it was Advil. Yeah, it was Advil. And was just downing Advil, and then just and prayed to God that I would at least have a regular temperature the day of surgery. And so that happened, and nobody knew I was ever sick, but I was really, really sick right before surgery. And I'm not saying to do that what I did, but maybe wait. But I was I did not have the fucking time. I did not have the time or money to stay and to spend another day in Dallas and not have surgery. It was either now or never, and so I needed to get that surgery done. Anyways, so next is after surgery. So surgery is you go in, they dress you up. It's not really it's exactly what you would think it is. It's kind of funny. It's not glamorous or terrifying. It's kind of nerve-wracking. It's just whatever. But I was kind of going like a boss, this is happening, I'm happy that it's happening, whatever. I don't know what to expect and whatever. So I went in, had my surgery. They take you in and you really don't remember anything. I remember going in, them wheeling me into the room, and then them talking to me. Let me see if I can remember the last thing. I can't remember the last thing they told me, but I remember them putting on the mask and telling me that they're going to count to 10, and I don't remember anything after that. And so I woke up, and then you're in no pain. Absolutely, I wasn't in any pain. I woke up, and I was just you really, it feels it's kind of a weird feeling. It's you go under, and then you come back, and then that you've been under for a significant amount of time, but it doesn't feel like it. It's a very cool feeling. Like, I really wish that I could use anesthesia on my life, like, so many times where I'm like, you know, like, oh my god, I could have, like, just never remembered that whole year. Like, that would have been fucking awesome. It could be like, you know, a year of time has passed, but I don't remember it. I don't remember or feel it. Anyway, so yeah, anesthesia, cool. I recommend. I think it's the cure to depression or cure to making bad decisions. It's like probably better than alcohol. Like, it's a lot better than alcohol. You don't have like a hangover. Anyways, yeah. So it was really, 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 really cool. So this recovery process was, you know what you would expect it to be. I had like, if these were my legs, I had 2 scars here underneath my genitals. And they're completely invisible. Like, the only weird part about them is that like hair grows like out of a straight line there, so it's like really, really, really weird. But yeah, it's cool. It's completely invisible. If I shave my pubes, you still can't really even tell. But with pubes, you definitely can't tell. And then it just like, you know, kind of, it looks totally normal. It doesn't look abnormal, like at least not to me. Like, my genitals look absolutely fine. Actually, to me, I think they look a little better because there's a lot less of like grotesque like testicles like hanging around there. It's just what it is, and it's kind of nice. But yeah, so it's pretty much just skin and a penis. So there's that. Nothing amazing, nothing drastic or whatever. And yeah, it took a while for me to, like, I think it took maybe like 3 weeks or so for me to feel really, really comfortable moving around. But I was up and moving. I had to like pee. Oh, they gave me a catheter the first day. The second day, I think I had a catheter and I couldn't like pee myself. But honestly, I think catheters, it's kind of life-changing. Like, I kind of want to get one again because you never have to pee, like, ever. You just can live your whole life never having to pee. Can you even imagine that? Like, that is, it's just so, I was really, really, like, not wanting to get rid of it because I was like, I don't ever have to get out of bed, like, ever, unless I'm, like, wanting water or food. Like, I don't have to pee. It's just amazing. Okay, I recommend everyone trying a catheter. Like, if they give you the option, do it. Like, it's gonna hurt when they put it in, but it's not really hurt. It just pinches for a second. But the benefits overall, amazing. I recommend top-notch, top tier body attachments, catheters. Anyways, yeah, so I had a catheter for about 2 days and it was really, really sore. Oh, I remember the feeling. So the feeling was like being kicked in the nuts really, really hard, and it sucked for like 2 or 3 days. That shit hurt. I mean, it didn't hurt, it was just really numb. Like, you know, like when you get kicked in the balls, it's not like it hurts at the second, but it's like that after is like that, like pressure or something, not pressure, but like that kind of numbness. That's what you feel for about 2 days. And then after that, then you start feeling the scars. The scars start to itch and they start to bleed and they start to feel like you cut yourself, but you get medicine that helps with that, so you don't like want to just cry all the time. Like, I cried maybe once or twice throughout my own entire surgery recovery process. Yeah, you just take the pills when you're supposed to, and it kind of gets rid of it pretty quickly. So after about 2 weeks, I tried to go back to work, but I couldn't stand up because at my job we stand a lot, and my stitches were bleeding significantly, so I had to go back home and wait another week. And then I came back, and then it was kind of like, you know, just being careful, not picking up too much heavy stuff or whatever, and that's that. And then you pretty much recovered. Like, it was a pretty easy recovery. But yeah, so that's that. Anyways, I'll now talk about the pluses and minuses that I noticed. I honestly, so one of the first ones that I noticed right after surgery is the amount of energy I had. I don't know exactly if it was directly related to just having major surgery or the fact that of the cause of the surgery. More so, I think the surgery itself, or the surgery removing the testicles, is what affected my body more than the surgery itself. Because I had never like experienced that much of an energy drop. Like, testosterone, I guess, does give you energy, and when you remove it completely 0 to 100 or 100 to 0, your body, you just don't know. Like, I was like, I don't have the energy to do anything. I didn't have the energy to walk. I didn't have the energy to eat. I didn't have the energy to talk. I didn't have the energy to listen to people. I didn't have the energy for anything. And that was really, really actually depressing for a while. I was like, I don't think I'll ever want to like talk to anyone ever again. Like, it's really, really depressing. And that's kind of what got me to not post after as well, is because I just didn't have the energy. You are sitting there trying to recover your body and then also recover your mind and then recover your energy. You're trying to recover everything. It's just hard. I did not expect that to hit me that hard. I think that was one of the biggest significant like changes that was immediate. So yeah, fast forward to a couple months, which is now. I'm 4 or 5 months now recovered. So I think that these effects that I'm experiencing now are gonna be the long-term ones. I would ask my audience if you guys would want to hear the pluses or minuses first, but let's go with whatever I fucking want. So I'd like to talk mainly about the positives. The positives are it really did alleviate an extreme amount of dysphoria. I remember beforehand just like my dysphoria becoming rage-filled and like hating myself and wanting to punch things and shove my head into a giant wall because I did not like anything about myself. And I really feel like a lot of that was the rage part of it was fueled by the testosterone, so I no longer have that. And so one, my dysphoria has significantly reduced, which is great. It's not gone, but I feel more myself, which is just one of the best feelings I've ever had in my entire life. The second thing is clothing does fit a little bit better. Makes tucking a little easier because you just really and you're done. You don't have to do anything with your testicles. It just they're just kind of not there anymore. So it's really, really great. Kind of, but they are not there anymore. So whatever. Which is kind of great. Yeah, and I kind of mentioned this one before. No more testosterone means no more like rage in a sense. I just would just be very, very angry all the time. Like a lot of things would just be rage fueled, and I had no idea what was going on. And so getting rid of the testosterone really pulled out a lot of the anger in my body, and I'm able to just kind of process and think a little better, which was I think that is one of the biggest that definitely saved my life. At the time, I didn't feel like I felt like my anger and depression was going to cause me into doing something like suicide, and it was very, very sad because I couldn't do anything about it. But now that I had the orchiectomy, I feel like it gave me a lot of time. Like, at the time, my time was very short. I was coming to a very angry decision. It was going to be very quick. And I was really terrified for myself. And now I feel that I just have more time. I don't think that I necessarily alleviated all depression or all suicidal thoughts, but I don't have that anger fuel to perpetuate that. Another positive is the sex drive. That was another thing that was causing me a lot of depression, was how horny I was all the time, and I didn't want that, so I had the surgery, and now I feel like my sex drive has become almost halted entirely, to the point where I just don't have a desire for people. I don't have a desire for sex. I mean, romance, yes. Romance for sure, I do appreciate a lot, but when it comes to like watching porn or guys hitting on me and telling me that they just want to fuck, like, I just really have absolutely no desire. It makes me feel like an old woman, but I'm also a lot happier because I'm able to say no and know it, and I'm able to just not be engaged, and also like I just feel at more control of my body because I no longer have a penis that's just like rock hard all the time, and it's like, hey, let's have sex with people. Yeah, so that was that's one of the biggest. I really do like that. And I guess like this is kind of a more technical one, is less hormones mean less cost. So I no longer take spironolactone. I only take estradiol, and they cut my dosage in half. So that's cool. It's just cheaper. Instead of the $20 a month, it's now 12 or something, 12 or 14. Oh, this also helped with dysphoria because I think the fact that I don't have testosterone, my body fat redistribution has changed really quickly, and made my body feel more feminine and look more feminine, which I really appreciate, and it helped with dysphoria a lot really quickly. Another one is my mind has been clear. It's no longer filled with depression, or it's no longer filled with that rage. It's no longer filled with that sexual desire. So I'm able to now really focus on myself and who I am. And I'm no longer like feeling like I'm suppressing anything. I'm just kind of trying to learn about myself, which is really, really great. I feel like just so much has just been wiped clean, and I'm able to really finally like be myself and really look at people and really see people and really get to know people and really like be myself around people. There's just so many things that came with the mind, like with the surgery that affected my mind and its ability to think clearly. Got rid of so much like clutter. I think another two with the clutter being removed is another positive is I feel more consistent. I'm able to kind of remember things. I'm able to kind of not be distracted. I still do get distracted, but when it comes to overall presence, I'm not a distract. Like I'm able to be myself more consistently and no longer have to, flip to this other side of this person who is this angry sexual like it just was weird. And I just remain consistent with a lot of things. It comes with that, it comes with jobs, it comes with friends, it comes with people. I feel more leveled out across the board, which is great. So those are kind of the overall positives. Those are the ones that I think. Maybe there's more to come, but whatever. And now I'd like to go over the negatives, which are far and few. Significantly, I want to get that straight, is that these negatives of the surgery are so minimal. I was having a very hard time to kind of write them out, and I can't really think of any more than the ones that I wrote, which is awesome. Like I think here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with an optimism of more positive things, and then with negative it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative things, and they're kind of whatever. So the first negative thing would be the no energy. Having no energy, it's not that I have no energy, but I have significantly less energy to do anything. It does make me feel like an old woman. It makes me feel like it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. I'm learning to kind of become more adjusted to it, and the more people that I talk about the significant energy difference, they also say that maybe it's something you need to get accustomed to. So that one may change. But it was frustrating at first. It's probably one of the most frustrating things. I definitely cried about not having energy. But every day, not every day, but I just, I'm at a comfortable spot-ish now. 2 is the judgment. The judgment you get for not being fully bottom surgeried. I feel a little bit more in between of society. I feel less able to identify with either sex, which is weird. I feel like, masturbating kind of brings up dysphoria because it's like, oh, what am I? Or what am I doing? Or this is weird. Or like my body is no longer regular. I think that's that. There's, people judge you for not just getting a vagina. I might have said that already, but yeah, it kind of sucks thinking about that. You get judged. You get judged regardless, but you get judged. Being judged for anything that private just sucks. And along with that judgment, I already mentioned another negative is isolation. You feel very I'm already a minority. Now I feel like even more of one. I feel like no one really understands or will understand or can understand what it feels like to not have testicles. And so I kind of get lonely because I don't know, I feel like no one understands, and that's fine. Being lonely is okay, or having my surgery is fine, but it's a little isolating, you know? I feel like I can't be seen in the gym. I feel like, you know, I just don't want people looking at my genitals, so I just kind of, you know, isolate myself to prevent that. All three of those things kind of lead up to depression, which is another big negative. I was depressed beforehand and depressed now after, but I feel like my depression, you know, it's less active, but it's more of a passive depression where I just want to fade out. I just don't want to exist. I just don't want to try. I just don't want to do things and whatever, which is fine. It's a lot better than what it was before, but it still exists, and I'm still kind of discovering the new level of depression that I have. Yeah, that also leads into isolation, judgment, and no energy, so it kind of stacks on top of each other. Another one is going to be no sexual desire. I know I talked about that being a positive, but it's also a negative. It's a double-edged sword. Having no sexual desire means that I have no desire for anything. I can go weeks now without masturbating. I can go weeks now without looking at porn. I can go weeks without talking to someone, which can, you know, lead to more isolation and judgment. And people are like, well, why don't you just like hook up with someone? And it's like, I just don't have that urge, I don't have that energy to. It's a completely double-edged sword. I'm really kind of sad about it because it makes me feel like I'll be forever alone and forever single, but I know that's not true, but I know that with this level of mindset I can definitely do that. And then last but not least is going to be the most physical one that I feel, and that is hot flashes. So whenever you remove your testicles, your hormones, whatever they are, they go to zero. And then after that, your body just goes into like a little hormonal shock, and its result of that is giving you hot flashes, being like, hey, you need to take some hormones. And so I get hot flashes every day for sure, actually, since surgery, which sucks. And then I also some days it's really bad where I get them on the hour every hour. Some days it's 1 to 3 hours I'll get one. You know, working out kind of helps, but it's not like the most best. It's like, it doesn't really cure. The only thing you can do is to take your hormones and keep your estrogen level high, but if it drops, you're gonna feel it and it's gonna suck. And yeah, and I think too, since no one really knows how often you get them, that can be a little isolating and a little depressing. So sorry, my niece is crying. I probably should have mentioned that a long time ago, but whatever. But yeah, so having hot flashes sucks because, you know, only old ladies get them and young people don't get them. And so when you tell your friends, oh, I'm having a hot flash, they kind of look at you like you're crazy, which sucks. But overall, that is the general experience I've had with my surgery. I would not go back. I can't say never, but never say never, but I don't think I would want to go back. I think that I've generally just made a large improvement to my life with the surgery. Everything is better. I can't think of anything that's not better, besides those 6 minimal things. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I hope that this video helps you guys with making your decision. I hope it doesn't hinder your decision if you are really looking forward to it. Like, I just overall want you guys to know that the surgery was a very positive experience, and anything that you can afford to make your transition better, do it. Anything. I think whatever, do what you need to do. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say besides if you have an experience with like an orchiectomy that you'd like to share or any information, please leave it in the comments. I noticed that there aren't very many orchiectomy videos on YouTube that are very recent, and that was something that was very difficult for me to like kind of decide, because I didn't have anyone telling me anything. There's a lot of boob jobs on YouTube, but there's no orchiectomies. But yeah, please share in the comments so that anyone that needs that support or needs that help or needs that advice can find it. Yeah, we need to be there for each other and educate each other and share experiences so that someone can make the best out of their transition and their life. So I want to just thank everyone for supporting me that has, and thank everyone that cares for me. You guys are the best, and take care. Bye.